Hello, my name is Ashley Guberman with Primary Goals Life and Leadership Coaching. In this video, I'm going to cover the essence of how coaching works. In any coaching engagement between coach and client, the client starts with some current reality, the way things are, the way they are experienced, felt, or perceived. In the current reality, there is a desire for something else, something different than what exists now. This is often expressed as, I want, I need, I intend to, I want to, why can't I, or how do I, and then some objective. Then there's the desired reality, the way that you want things to be. That desired reality can be in the area of fitness, relationships, spirituality, work, teamwork, effectiveness, leadership, vision, or some much larger objective. The significant part regarding coaching is that between these two, there is a gap. My role as a coach is to help you close that gap, moving you positively towards your goal until you have what it is that you want in your life. It doesn't matter whether that ultimate goal is fame, fortune, romance, or your own successful business. More than likely, with many things in your life, you've been able to achieve some sense of progress on your own goals on your own. Congratulations, not only on your success, but also because that shows you already have the essential skills to make forward progress. But here's where a coach can help. Often, when people achieve some sought-after goal, or shortly thereafter, they start to feel a sense of tension that draws them back to the way that things were. Unfortunately, that tension starts to grow, and without some form of support, those hard-earned wins have a way of vanishing. This leaves us right back where we started, and we begin the process all over again. It's like a seesaw. My role as a coach is to help break that pattern so that not only do you make forward progress, but so that you also maintain it. In order to do that, it helps to get a better understanding of what makes the attainment of so many goals seesaw in the first place. Why do we keep returning to our old ways even if it's not what we really want? Like Goldilocks, we all have some internal notion of just right. This includes our behavior, environment, dreams, and even who we are. For example, if we see ourselves as quiet and reserved, we can still be talkative and outgoing, but we will soon return to what is comfortable. If we have historically been an individual contributor with aspirations to lead, we can show acts of leadership, but soon return to the comfort of our old role. If we desire a new or different level of relationship, we can behave differently and draw those people towards us, but if that's not who we really see ourselves to be, we will return to what is comfortable. We can take positive steps towards the realization of our dreams, but all too often, when we meet with resistance or obstacles, they throw us off our game. We lose our forward drive, and we slip back to what we've always known. The common theme is that all of us have acceptable ranges within which we operate on many areas of our lives. And within those ranges, we have a notion of how far we can drift to either side and still be comfortable. When we drift too far one way or the other, our comfort zone urges us back to the center. We can move within our comfort zone relatively easily. We can even move to the edge and sometimes out of our comfort zone with considerable effort. But without tools, structures, or external support in place, it's way too easy to slip back to what we're comfortable with, to what we know, and what we believe ourselves to be. We can still experience all aspects of our lives at the extreme. We can have spectacular wow moments of performance, as well as not one of my better days. In both cases, our sense of discomfort or unfamiliarity will quickly restore us back to our familiar ways of being at the center of our comfort zone. Invariably, what keeps us in our comfort zone is a combination of our limiting beliefs about ourselves and our own internal fears. While the particular fears, nervousness, anxiety, discomfort, or even I don't want to, are unique to each person, the existence and power of these fears is something that we all deal with on some level. My role as a coach starts by helping you to become a new observer of yourself, your skills, your abilities, your feelings, and your responses. This is because any change in your life, large or small, always starts with noticing things differently, becoming aware that other options exist. So when you've made some forward progress against your goals, you are already familiar with the backward slide that has come in the past. But from here, by choosing to see things differently, you can choose whether to return to what is comfortable or to shift your perception of what normal really is. My role as a coach is to help you with tools, accountability tools, reframing tools, exercises, and things to look for so that you can choose whether to return to what you know and are familiar with or to make your new behaviors stick. For a while, the tension to return will still be there, but by working together on what it is that you pay attention to, we can anchor the new way of being into your life. From there, with this new awareness, you can then choose whether you want to look at things the old way or differently. So that's all well and good at an abstract level, but let's start drilling down into details. Why would one explore coaching in the first place? What are the benefits? On the professional side, some concrete outcomes from coaching include an increased ability to influence groups and teams. Largely, this comes from an increased level of self-awareness, receptivity to feedback, and from more practice looking at things from different perspectives, all of which we practice through coaching. Also, greater success with significant organizational change efforts. Very few people enjoy change, even if it's for the better. Coaching can improve your ability both to respond to changes that come your way, as well as bringing about changes within your organization or your life. Largely, this comes from an increased awareness of how you behave, how you communicate, and how you are perceived in the face of growing levels of change. Another frequent outcome is an improvement in cross-functional communication in complex organizations. The larger and more complex an organization is, the easier it is to focus on the particular details of various interactions while missing the larger context in which changes are taking place. Coaching helps you here by giving you a professional, confidential resource that provides feedback not just on what you say, but on your way of being as you communicate. Often, one will hear about life coaching, business coaching, or leadership coaching. Ultimately, all coaching comes down to personal coaching, since people, and you in particular, are always involved. Some of the personal benefits of coaching include a greater awareness of choices that support your primary goals. You're not likely to act on any options that you don't see, even if they're right in front of you. Through coaching, you get to expand the number of options that are visible and available to you in order to achieve what it is that's important to you. Coaching also increases your ability to create rather than merely respond to changes in your environment and circumstances. This often leads to improved relationships with coworkers, friends, family, and loved ones. Many people also experience a greater sense of control over their personal well-being. Well-being is actually pretty foundational to coaching and to your ability to get what you want in life. By the same token that when an airplane depressurizes, we're all instructed to put our own masks on before assisting others, by focusing a bit more on our own personal well-being, we become more effective at making progress on our own personal goals as well as the goals of those we love and work with. So far, the simplified diagrams and benefits above pretty much apply to all coaching. But if you're the type of client that I love to work with, chances are that you're asking yourself how that happens. You're not satisfied with some cutesy diagrams that illustrate the process, and instead, you want to know the steps, in order, how long they'll take, and what it is that you actually have to do. While I'm happy to provide more detail on the high-level process, the low-level details are going to be particular to you and your primary goals. By far, however, the most important part of any effective coaching relationship stems from building a partnership where we are both committed to your success. As a professional coach, I am committed to your primary goals and to you getting what it is that you want in your life. So what is coaching actually like? What can you compare it to? Especially for people who are not otherwise familiar with coaching, describing the details of the process can be a bit like talking about swimming. You can read about or listen to the mechanics of swimming until you're an expert, but there's no substitute for getting in the water to learn the skills through practice. If you're not sure if coaching is for you, or you're not sure if I'm the right coach for you, then you're asking the right questions already. I invite you to sit down with me, in person or by phone, and let's explore whether I can be of service to you. I'll readily admit that different people are better served by different coaches, and if I'm not the right coach for you, then I'm happy to refer you to one who might be able to serve your needs more appropriately. You don't need to make a long-term or expensive commitment to explore whether I can be of service to you. Let's talk and find out first. Additionally, you can ask yourself if I'm the type of coach for you by following these rules of thumb. The people I work with best are highly intelligent. It takes a fair amount of time and effort to obtain the skills necessary for them to do their job well. They often place a high value on focus, learning, quality, or technology. More often than not, the people I work with best see themselves as knowledge workers. Occasionally, I'll work with folks who are struggling with aspects of social skills or politics that are so often essential to cooperation and collaboration at higher levels in management. These are often people in technical fields who are working on interesting or complex challenges or in environments undergoing rapid change. That also includes people who are looking for these challenges but not finding them where they are today. So chiefly, that means that I work best with geeks and nerds, but not so much with dweebs and dorks. If you see yourself anywhere above the green line, and you're able to see the humor in this slide, then give me a call or send me an email. I'd love to work with you. Chances are that you're highly intelligent, you like solving problems, you recognize the importance of learning, and you probably take some level of pride in the skills that you've managed to master over time. You may also find yourself reaching a point where the skills that got you to where you are today are proving less effective at getting you to where you want to go tomorrow. Alternately, you may be making progress, but not at the rate that you know you are capable of making. If any of these describe your current situation, then let's talk. I can help you. So now let's go back to that question of how coaching works. The key aspect of how, and how I coach in particular, starts with the way that I and we will look at the circumstances and responses in your life. These are the lenses that we use to see things in our world. For example, if you go to a chiropractor, they're going to look at you through the lens of your posture and your spine. Greater health will come from greater mobility and alignment. If you go to a psychological counselor, they're going to look at you through the lens of prior experiences and what emotional baggage you may need to let go of in order to move forward. If you go to a physician, they're going to look at you from your physical health, especially your diet, exercise, and possibly disease. The point is that in all of these examples, there's only one you, but different professionals use different lenses and each sees things differently as it relates to your health and well-being. As a coach, what I look for are limiting beliefs, something called contexts that keep you from getting what you want in life. It really doesn't matter what your beliefs are, nor do they need to match mine as your coach. Rather, what matters is whether the beliefs that you have about yourself, about your environment, about your circumstances, and about what you ultimately control, whether those are in support of or limiting to achieve what you want in your life. For example, if I want greater financial freedom, but I think that money is the root of all evil, or perhaps people with money are jerks, then my beliefs and goals are not supportive of each other. Or, if I want to advance in my career, but I believe that management doesn't know what they're doing or that they don't care about their staff, then even though I can't know the truth of that belief, it will still be an impediment to my forward progress. The thing about our limiting beliefs, however, is that from our own perspective, they don't appear to be limiting. Rather, we hold those beliefs as true at face value. We genuinely believe that's just the way things are. And of course, that all makes sense because any limiting belief that you knew was limiting, you could probably address on your own. But we all have limiting beliefs, every one of us. However, trying to see our own limiting beliefs is like a fish trying to see water. Our limiting beliefs are so all-pervasive that they often take an outside observer to bring them into focus. Only then can you choose to act upon them. Lastly, unlike a medical expert who might diagnose or prescribe, it's essential to realize that my role as a coach is not to direct your actions nor to serve as the guru with all of the answers. Rather, my role is more like that of an optician. I may ask you to try on different perspectives for lenses. Are things more clear when looked at from here or looked at from there? Or perhaps I'll ask you about what other ways you might look at things so that you can assess what moves you forward on your own. The important thing is that it's not about my agenda. Rather, it's about helping you make positive, continual forward progress against your own primary goals. On the next slide, I'll show you some of the primary lenses that I use in my role as coach. But it's always you, your life, and your primary goals that I'm looking at. At the center of my model, I look at three things. What are you passionate about? What have you found for your purpose, or your search for your purpose? And what possibilities exist if you live at your highest potential? How high can you reach? To support that, one of the things we'll look at is what you're learning. How do you adapt to ever-increasing rates of change? What new skills would most increase your resilience? What old skills might be holding you back? What would change if you embraced learning as a way of being? Next, what are you teaching others? How and where are you sharing your gifts, skills, and talents? What is the role of service in your life? In the area of creativity, where in your life do you find your greatest self-expression? Who would you be if you had greater access to your power to create your life rather than merely responding to it? In the area of relationships, what are your strengths and blind spots as you relate to family and friends, peers, supervisors, and subordinates? How does your relationship style serve you, and how does it limit you? More importantly, do your relationships bring you joy, and how could that be amplified? Last but not least, we'll look at play in broad terms. In your life, how is success recognized and celebrated? How do you recharge? And again, we'll focus on where in your life you find joy. As the client, you get to set the agenda and declare the outcome you desire from any coaching engagement. These are just some of the lenses that I look through when we're working together. There are others, but these are often front and center when I work with my clients. And more often than not, limiting beliefs can be found in one or more of the areas above. By systematically addressing these self-imposed limitations, you, as the client, end up with greater freedom to choose how you want your life to work. Without looking at these limiting beliefs, they are to you what water is to a fish. All around you, but for practical purposes, invisible. So what's next? Well, that depends. What are your primary goals? Let's talk. Make an appointment. You can contact me at the address below. You're also free to look around the rest of this website for additional information and background material. Much of the content on the site is free, but if you found this video of value, please opt in with your name and email, and additional video resources will be made available to you. I'm Ashley Guberman, and thanks for watching. May you be well and live a life of purpose, full of passion, at your highest potential.